Hi and welcome everyone to another video on my channel. My name is Denis and today we're gonna discuss about everything you need to know for the next game weeks, starting from best players to target for each positions, best captaincy options, and as usual, if you enjoy my content, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button. But now let's get into it. Okay, so before going into the big part of the video, I just wanted to go through a little bit to see shortly how Arsenal lined up yesterday against PSG in the UEFA Champions League semi-final. Now, as you can see, this was the starting lineup. No big surprises here, but let's just try to see how this is going to impact our FPL teams. Obviously, as you may know, Arsenal are going to play against Bournemouth in game week 35, and after that they are going to play the second leg against PSG. Now Arsenal lost at home 1-0, but the advantage for PSG is minimal. Everything is still left to play, so Arsenal are gonna just focus 100% on that second leg. They still have chances to go through to the final. Now obviously, as you can see, we have a lot of players. You may have Bukayo Saka, maybe you have Saliba, Kivior. I have him myself. Now obviously, what's gonna mean that to FPL? I just think that at the moment Arsenal are gonna have are going to be a big rotated team against Bournemouth in game week 35, because there is really no point in starting all these players. And also these guys pretty much played all of them 90 minutes. They made just two substitutions, so they are tired obviously and they want to rest the players. Now, yeah, what does that mean? I don't think that Bukayo Saka is gonna start. Now I have Kivior myself in my FPL team. I'm not sure if he is gonna start. Also, I think that Arsenal are gonna rotate at least 6 or 7 players, something like that, because as you may know, the title is over. Arsenal are gonna be in that top 5 position. Pretty much they are gonna finish second or third, so they don't really have to risk the players. But yeah, we need to see what Arteta is gonna say in the press conference also. But now let's just jump to the next part. Okay, so let's just jump straight into the big part of the video. So this video is gonna be sectioned in 3 or 4 parts. We're gonna take a look at the best forwards to buy, midfielders, defenders from game week 35 to 38 until the end of the season, best captaincy options. We're gonna see the data for these players, the expected goals, expected assists, who is the best defense also to target, and also here you're gonna see the fixture difficulty rating from an attacking perspective and from a defensive perspective for the defenders. Now let's just start with the forwards. There are a lot of good forwards at the moment. Now I made also wildcard draft. If you're interested in that, just check it out. Yesterday was posted. There I picked also some players who I think that are going to be great until the end of the season. Now the important part here is we need to wait until the gaming 35 deadline. Probably we're going to get a confirmation if there are going to be any doubles or blank gamings announced for gaming 36. So that's the most important part also, because if some players on this list are going to have a double gaming, obviously you're just going to want to buy them. But also you need to take into consideration that those players who are going to double in gaming 36 are going to blank also in gaming 37, so you need to have a plan on what to do with them, obviously without taking a lot of hits. But let's just start with the video. So let's just start with Watkins. As you may know, Rashford is probably out until the end of the season, and even if he's going to be back for the last game week, it's going to be against Man United, and I think that he can't play that game. So Watkins suddenly becomes a great FPL option. Now obviously he's not on penalties, but still the fixtures for Aston Villa are better. I'm just trying to compare him to someone like Alexander Isak. I just think that the fixtures are better for Aston Villa than for Newcastle. He's not on penalties. Isak is on penalties. His statistics are pretty much similar. Now obviously Watkins played a lot fewer games than Isak. Now he's gonna improve that game time, I think. And yeah, as you can see, the fixtures are great, the data is good for him. Aston Villa could also double in gaming 36. I have Isak in my own team. I'm contemplating maybe a move. It's an easy swap from Isak to Watkins if you have the money. And yeah, now obviously I'm not saying that you should rip apart your team to try to get to Watkins, but if you have the possibility, I would try to do that. But it's not a rush, obviously. Next, Cunha and Strand Larsen from Wolverhampton. I put here also Strand Larsen because he has great statistics and he was really good in the last game weeks, even when Cunha wasn't playing. So I think that he's a good option. But obviously, if I had the opportunity to pick to pick one from these two, would be Cunha at the moment. I think that he's still going to play most games. Now, nobody can guarantee you that he's gonna play all the games 90 minutes because now Bellegarde is also back in training. He's back fit. Cunha probably is gonna go from Wolverhampton to another team in the summer, Manchester United maybe. So we don't know if his minutes are gonna be managed or something like that. But I think that most games he's gonna start. So I still think that he's the best option from Wolverhampton. Now, obviously, it's not a great time to buy him from my perspective because he's gonna play against Manchester City. So it's not the best entry point, if you know what I mean. But after that, the fixtures are decent. His data is good. You know him. He's an amazing player. He's really good for bonus points on penalties, on set pieces, and pretty much when he gets an assist or a goal, he gets all the three bonus points. So that's what I really like about Cunha. Now, Delap and Vardy are here on the list because I just think that the fixtures are amazing for Ipswich and Leicester, but honestly, I wouldn't go for them, and they are really cheap also. But at this point in the season, it doesn't really matter the team value that much because we have just 4 game weeks left. So the transfers are going to be really important, and maybe honestly, I don't want to spend a transfer on selling someone like Isak or I don't know another player to a striker from Leicester and Ipswich. Those teams are relegated now. Obviously, with Vardy, it's his last season for Leicester. He will want to score some goals in the last game weeks of the season, but things in football doesn't just work like that. So it doesn't mean that now he's just gonna score a lot of goals. Now, yeah, I think that these players are decent considering they are on penalties. They are good value, but these teams are relegated for a reason. So honestly, I don't think that I would go for Delap and Vardy. I just try to include them here after the um, really good players. Now, ignore the list. The order of the list is not important because, as you can see, after that we have Wood, Wisa, who I think that are pretty much the best options from this list. Wisa in particular, if I wildcarded in Gaming 35, Wisa would be 100% in my team. The fixtures are great from Brentford. Uh, yeah, he's cheap. His statistics are great. Also, all the season the statistics were great for Wisa. Wisa and Mbemo in particular. When you see Brentford scoring, you know that it's gonna be one of them. Now he doesn't have penalties, but the fixtures are just really good for Brentford until the end of the season. And yeah, he would be my top 3 strikers until the end of the season. Wisa. Now Wood also, he's on penalties. He's playing for Nottingham Forest. The fixtures are also great for Forest. They are fighting for UEFA Champions League, so for top 5. I think that is a great option. Also, I'm just leaning towards Wisa if I had to choose between the two of them, but I think that both are great at the moment. And also Beto, uh, the same as Vardy and Delap. I wouldn't go for him, but he's really cheap. His statistics are not actually that bad. The fixtures are the best for Everton, as you can see. First place, they're gonna play Ipswich, Southampton. Yeah, if you really want to go for an Everton defender, maybe Beto is the one. But I would be more leaning towards targeting Everton's defense and just choosing other strikers from this list. My top would be something like Watkins, Wisa, Wood from this list. But obviously here you don't have Isak Marmoush because I think that a lot of people already have them. So yeah, for example, if Haaland is gonna be back for Manchester City and all of a sudden Marmoush is not gonna be first choice anymore, then yeah, you could be looking to sell him. But Marmoush at the moment is a lock in every team, I think. And yeah, we're gonna discuss a bit about him in the captaincy option. Now let's move to the midfielders. Next up, we're gonna take a look at the best midfielders to buy until the end of the season. Now, when I made my wildcard draft yesterday, I just realized that there aren't many good midfielders, honestly, because I just tried to look. If you don't want, if you have Palmer, Bukayo Saka in your team, and maybe you want to get rid of them, uh, I just try to see which are the best options to buy. Now, obviously, with Mbeumo, I'm not gonna talk too much about him. Everybody's gonna pretty much buy him this gaming. I think that he's the best midfielder to buy for gaming 35 because the fixtures are great for Brentford until the end of the season. He's on penalties, on set pieces. He plays 90 minutes every gaming. He's good for bonus points. As you can see, he's predicted to score the most points from all these midfielders until the end of the season. And yeah, his statistics are decent, are not something amazing, but he's a solid pick. Yeah, no need to discuss too much about Mbeumo. I think that he's the best option. Now, after that, if you want to go for other midfielders, I would go for Bowen, um, Kevin De Bruyne. Let's say you have Mohamed Salah, and pretty much that's it. I mean, you don't really have a lot of options. Now, obviously, Rogers, I think that he's a decent buy still. I know he's not something spectacular, but you know that he's gonna play every game in 90 minutes for Aston Villa until the end of the season, based on what we know so far. Um, he's a really reliable option. He could also double in gaming 36, so keep that in mind. The fixtures are decent for Aston Villa. Another player from Brentford is Shade. He's a really cheap option, but yeah, to be honest with you, if you really want to go different, he could be a great differential. But honestly, uh, yeah, if you want to pick some players from Brentford, I would just go for Mbeumo, Wissa, and I don't know if there is also place for another one. So I wouldn't buy Shade instead of Mbeumo. So that's the thing, but he could be a decent option. Now, Clivert, the fixtures are not great for Bournemouth. They are having a good fixture in gaming 38 in the last gaming of the season against Southampton, I think. So he could be a good option for that. You know that he's gonna start most games. He's on penalties, but he's not getting 90 minutes every gaming. So yeah, maybe a more template pick. If you wanna go safe a little bit, he could be Clivert. Now Bowen, again after Mbeumo, I think that he's the best pick here, along with Kevin De Bruyne, obviously. But at that price, 7.6 millions, his statistics are decent. The fixtures are good for West Ham, although they are not really playing amazingly at the moment or something like that. But Bowen is a solid pick, also because yeah, when Paqueta is not going to be on the pitch, he could be also on penalties, but we don't know that. Yeah, I really like Bowen. Next, we have Kevin De Bruyne, which is, I think, the best midfielders at the moment from Manchester City, but these things can change quickly. He wasn't starting in the semi-final in the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest, so you need to see how you're gonna look at that. Maybe he was rested, maybe they were trying to play a better team without Kevin De Bruyne. But anyway, I think that he's gonna start against Wolverhampton at home in gaming 35. That's a great fixture. He could be a great captaincy option also. And from Manchester City, you have Guardiol and Marmoush. And if you want to go for a third Man City player, because they have great fixture until the end of the season, fighting for those Champions League spots, it's pretty much De Bruyne, because you're not gonna go for Foden at the moment. You're not gonna go for Savinho, Doku, Grealish. You don't really want to double up on Man City defense. And yeah, but what's really important is let's see if Haaland is gonna be back in training. We know that he's back in training, but we don't know how far that is. And until I see Haaland playing at least one game or 40 minutes, let's say, I'm just not gonna put him as an option, obviously, and I'm not gonna think about buying him. Next we have Barnes. Now, obviously, if you have Newcastle midfielders, you're not in a rush to just sell them because they are still fighting for those spots. They are, from an attacking perspective, Newcastle, I really like them because they are scoring a lot of goals. And Barnes at the moment is the first uh, left winger starting for Newcastle. Now, obviously, his minutes could be managed at some point. Gordon is gonna start at some point, but that doesn't mean Barnes is not gonna start anymore. They could start with Gordon and Barnes. Murphy was the midfielder who is subbed off in every game week at around 60-70 minutes. So Barnes is playing pretty much a lot of minutes at the moment. And what you can see here, his expected goals are the best on this list, 0.46. So his statistics are great. The fixtures are not amazing, as you can see from Newcastle. But if you have him, don't sell him. If you don't have him, I'm not sure I would buy him. But obviously, if you have Mbeumo, Bowen, Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, and if you have the cash to go for someone like Barnes, I totally can understand that. After that, we have Elanga from Nottingham Forest. Now here you could go for Gibbs White. If you want to go safe, just pick him. I just Elanga is just a more player I would go for with more attacking threat, and obviously if they are gonna have the same minutes, I would pick Elanga 100% over Gibbs White. But the thing is, with Elanga, you don't know he's gonna start every game week, but when he's starting, he's doing decent. So yeah, I think that if you want to go safe, Gibbs White. If you want to go a little bit different, try to catch the upside, go Elanga. The fixtures are great for Forest, by the way, until the end of the season. And last on my list is Eze. Now, obviously, uh, here I didn't have enough space to include someone like Sar. He could be also on the list. If you want to go for a Crystal Palace player, now probably a lot of people have Eze and Sar, Mateta, players like that. I'm not sure if I would go in a rush to buy Crystal Palace midfielders, but we saw in the FA Cup that they are good options. They are really good value at that price. Definitely, if you have him, just keep them to see if they are gonna double in gaming 36. And after that, we just need to assess. I think that they are good holds, and you keep them for sure. Now, with buying, that depends on the announcement of the double gimmick and other things. Now, let's move to see some defenders. In the next section, we're gonna take a look at the best defenders to target until the end of the season. Now, first one, Munoz. Don't get mad, guys. I just put him here because, for example, if they are gonna double in gaming 36, I still think that Munoz could be a good buy because we know that he's a really attacking defender. He has a good fixture this week against Nottingham Forest at home. Crystal Palace, as you can see from this list, are not defending that bad actually in the last 10 game weeks at least, because as you can see, they are the best defense on this list in the last 10 games alongside Manchester City and Everton with 1.1 expected goals conceded. Now, with Munoz, what we really like is the attacking threat. I think that he's a good option. Now, if they are not gonna have a double gimmick, I still think that he's a good pick. Now, he's not a really cheap defender, so if you have other opportunities to move him, then yeah, okay, I understand. But this doesn't change things. They had a lot of tough fixtures in the last game weeks. That's why Crystal Palace didn't keep a lot of clean sheet, and Munoz didn't get a lot of attacking returns, although he got something. I think that is a good keep and buy depending on the double gimmick announcements. Now, next we have Ainuri, which in particular I'm not in a rush to buy because as I said before, they're gonna play against Manchester City in the next game, so the chances for a clean sheet for Wolverhampton are not that high. They are defending decent, and his XGI also is the best on this list, 0.31. We saw in game week 34 how many points he scored. The fixtures are not actually that great for Wolverhampton even after the gaming 35, but yeah, if you have him, again, keep him if you're interested in going a little bit different, because a lot of people had Ainuri on their free hits, but not a lot of people are gonna have Ainuri from this moment on. So if you want to go a little bit different, if you trust that Wolves defense and his attacking threat, yeah, I think that he could be a good option because he's getting a lot of chances to score goals. Now, the third one is maybe the best defender at the moment to own in FPL. Now, sadly, Guardiol is not hasn't played as a left winger for some in the last game weeks. Hopefully, that's gonna happen soon because, as you can see, his attacking threat at the moment is really bad, 0.08. So he's not really getting any chances. Now, obviously, what helps for him playing as a center back is that he's better for bonus points. And when Manchester City are keeping a clean sheet, Guardiola pretty much is in the contention to get 2 or 3 bonus points. The fixtures are good for Man City, as I said before. He's the most nailed defender from Manchester City. We didn't have a lot of chances in the past and this year also to have a defender from Manchester City who pretty much you're sure that he's gonna start if nothing else happened, injury or something like that. So yeah, it's really nice to have that assurance sometime. Next, we have Collins from Brentford, a pretty interesting pick. Now, he's a really cheap defender. He doesn't really have a lot of goal involvement, but we know that he scored goals in the past. And actually, Brentford, as you can see, are defending really better in the last 10 gamings. 1.2 expected goals conceded. The fixtures are decent for Brentford. They will have some chances to keep some clean sheets. And as I said before, they are defending better in the last part of the season. Now, yeah, I'm not saying you should just sell Munoz, Saliba, Van Dijk, players like that to someone like Collins, but yeah, maybe on a wild card he could be okay. Maybe if you need some cash to make a move elsewhere, maybe you want to buy Kevin De Bruyne and you need to sell one defender to a cheap defender, he could be a good option. But at the moment, I would target Nottingham Forest, Everton. As you see on the list, we have 2 players from Nottingham Forest and 2 players from Everton. Now, obviously, I didn't include here all the defenders, but from Nottingham Forest in particular, Nico Williams, Milenkovic, I think that these are the best options. Nico Williams with more attacking threat, but careful as you can see here. Uh, their expected data, expected goals conceded in the last 10 games weren't great. They are conceding a lot of chances recently. So as you can see, they are the worst defense in from this list. Now, obviously, in the last 10 gamings, because they are one of the best defenses in the Premier League in the last year and in the last 2 years. So, depending how you want to see this, they are still fighting for the Champions League. The fixtures are decent. I think that, yeah, having one defender from Nottingham Forest is a really good idea. From Everton, as you can see, the best fixtures from a defensive perspective. Pickford, if I had my wild card, he would be 100% in my team. There could be a conversation maybe if you want to double up on Everton, but obviously it really depends on your chips, on your strategy, how many free transfers you have, because yeah, but at least with Everton, you know that they are not gonna have doubles. They're not gonna blank soon, so you know that they are gonna play all the games against Ipswich, Southampton, Fulham. The fixtures are great for Everton. Just in gaming 38, I think that they are gonna play against Newcastle, which is not an easy fixture. But until that, the fixtures are great. Now the attacking threat from these 2 players obviously is not so big, but yeah, I think that Everton are one of the best teams to target defending wise at the moment. Now let's move to the last part of the video when we're gonna discuss a little bit about who's the best captain for this game. Okay guys, so let's move to the last part of the video when we're gonna discuss about the best captaincy options for gaming 35. Now firstly, I just want to say it, don't hate me guys because I put Mohamed Salah on the list. I'm not saying you should captain him or something like that. I know that Liverpool won the championship. I'm a Liverpool fan. Probably the performances are gonna drop a little. Now, I just don't think that Mohamed Salah is not gonna play anymore for Liverpool. Maybe there's gonna be some rotation, but I just don't think that Salah is gonna be part of that. He still wants to get some records. He still wants to get goals, assists until the end of the season. Now, the fixtures obviously are not great for Liverpool, but let's just talk about Gaming 35. They're gonna play against Chelsea away. It's not gonna be an easy fixture. Chelsea are fighting for Champions League spots. Uh, but as you can see from the screen, Mohamed Salah obviously is predicted to score the most points this game week with 7. And if you're looking at the goals predicted, Liverpool are predicted to not Liverpool, but in the Chelsea Liverpool game, there are prediction to be 1.6 goals. Now, obviously, a lot of things can change. I can see some goals, obviously, in that game, but maybe we have better captaincy options. So I'm just gonna say it. I'm not gonna captain probably Mohamed Salah. Now, obviously, if you're I don't know, if you're 10 in the world at the moment in FPL and you want to go safe and you know that uh, the people in front of you are gonna captain Salah, then just do it yourself. Try to save your rank. Obviously, it is an opportunity. It is a consideration. If you wanna go safe, if he's on penalties, his data is pretty much the best on this list. Uh, yeah, we saw also that a lot of players from Liverpool were looking in that game against Spurs to give the ball to Mohamed Salah to help him score. So Mohamed Salah is still going to score goals this season. Now let's talk about the other players. You're not gonna see here Bowen. I think that he could be a good captaincy option also. Now I don't think that I would go there, although he's playing at home against Spurs, but I don't know. I just think that there are better captaincy options at the moment. Next up, we have Isak, who has a fixture against Brighton away. This is a decent fixture. It's not something wow or amazing. Isak is not playing really good at the moment. He is not in a good place. That's what also Eddie Howe said. But he's getting chances. That's why I think that obviously for my team, I'm just gonna keep him probably one more week at least in my team because he's getting chances. He's missing them, but at least he's getting them, and that's a good. That's positive for me, in my opinion. I don't know if I would captain also Isak. I think that he's a good option. He's on penalties. He's the best striker in FPL this season. But yeah, because the next players are on the list, maybe Isak and Salah are not the best captaincy options for this gaming, but obviously it really depends on how you want to play this gaming. You want to go different, you want to go safe. Mbeumo is going to be a pretty popular captaincy option, I think, this gaming. Now, his statistics are not something amazing, so Salah and Isak are way better than Mbeumo. All of these players are on penalties, also on set pieces. His prediction for Gaming 35 regarding points is the same as Isak, Marmoush, better than De Bruyne. So he's gonna play also against Manchester United at home, which is a team who's gonna be focused on Europa League. So this game is gonna be between the legs against Athletic Bilbao for Manchester United. So I think that even United are gonna rotate a little bit in this game, and also they were really bad this season in general. So uh, yeah, I think that Mbeumo is gonna get a lot of chances to score. Now let's see what's gonna happen in the last game week of Gaming 34 because today Mbeumo is gonna play against Nottingham Forest. So don't transfer him in already because we don't know if anything is going to happen, so let's just wait to see. But I think that at the moment I'm leaning towards captaining Mbeumo in my own team. Now it's really close because uh, in the beginning of the week I was on Marmoush because as you can see, he could be on penalties. Haaland is not back already, but we need to see what news we're gonna get from Pep Guardiola in the press conference. Because if he just say, for example, that Haaland has a chance of playing in Gaming 35, maybe I will just consider captaining other player because maybe Marmoush is not gonna get close to 90 minutes. That maybe would put me off. But if not, if Haaland is away from starting for Manchester City, I think that he's a solid pick. I know he was frustrating maybe a little bit in the last gamings. He didn't score a lot of goals, but his statistics are great. His expected goals are the same as Mohamed Salah. He has the better fixture, obviously. Wolverhampton at home. Uh, so yeah, that's why I think that maybe Marmoush at the moment is the best captaincy option, followed by Mbeumo, Isak, Salah if you want in that order, and obviously pretty much a differential captain if you want. Kevin De Bruyne, he wasn't playing in the semi-final in the FA Cup. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that he's just gonna start against Wolverhampton at home, but I think that there is a good chance he's gonna start. But you're never gonna know with Man City midfielders. Now they are the first fixture Friday, so maybe we're gonna get early team news. So yeah, make sure you be on my stream if you want. And yeah, if we get any news that De Bruyne is going to start, I think that he could be a good option. Now his expected goals are not amazing, as you can see, 0.2. He's not really having a lot of chances to score goals, but we know that from before he doesn't really need a lot of chances to score goals, and also he's much better in assisting. So as you can see, his expected assists are okay, and also he didn't play all the games in the last 10 gaming, so this data for De Bruyne is not so accurate, obviously. But I think that he, if you want to go really different, if you want to catch some rank, he could be a great differential captain. If you don't want to captain Marmoush, Salah, Isak, Mbeumo. But yeah, this was pretty much my video for today. Hopefully it helps a little bit. Thank you so much. If you're still watching, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, thanks a lot. It means a lot to me and I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.